Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I got a few stories for you in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam, starting with this one from the Daily Hodl. Crypto innovation on trial in XRP lawsuit, says Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And indeed, the future of XRP, the decentralized cryptocurrency, one of the most important, it was greatly adopted on the entire planet. The future of it actually is at stake. Seriously. Because I think if you have negative impact here, it's going to have a pretty negative impact in terms of developer activity on top of it. Not that it would go away. I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not making that claim, but my gosh, I can only imagine like the fallout if let's say, and I don't think it's going to happen for a moment, but just imagine if Ripple could no longer use XRP as a funding mechanism, and if XRP could not legally be traded in the United States. Can you imagine if there were like legal certification indicating that you cannot do that? Major fallout in the short term, but still, I mean, I still think XRP would persist, but man, it would be messy for a really long time, and it would really be hurting innovation. But it's still, like, there's a lot at stake with that, and with Ripple, the company. So I want to run through that. Also, you may have heard this story in the news. This is actually from a few days ago, but I haven't talked about it yet, and I've got to now. There's just something I have to say on this topic, but a lot of these people that are saying, you know, like they claim to be very long Bitcoin anyway, the diamond hands thing, all this and that. Now there's indications that they may be getting a little, maybe getting to a position where they want to cash out. And that has happened actually with Tesla. They have sold their Bitcoin, not all of it, a certain percentage of it, but they're not the only ones. And so I just wanted to talk about that. But before going any further, I just want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who likes making YouTube videos all up on the internets. It's a fun hobby. That's it. That's all that's going on here. So in this first piece now, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's lawsuit against the San Francisco payments company is essentially placing innovation itself on trial. The federal watchdog's complaint alleges that Ripple's sales of the cryptocurrency XRP from 2013 to the present are illegal because the crypto asset is a security. Anytime I hear that, I take pause at this point, and I just think back to the Howey case, which resulted in the Howey test, which is what everyone points to. Whatever side you're on, you always point to the Howey test. It had to do with whether or not there was an investment contract surrounding orange groves and this and that. And so at the heart of this, without explaining the whole case, if you don't know what it is, just Google Howey test, you'll find it. Howey, you'll find it. But at the core of this, there's orange groves, right? And there's oranges. And can you imagine if when that case started, the orange itself was declared a security? There's going to be some farmer out there just like, bitch, I trying to make orange juice out here. Don't be telling me this damn thing's a security. It's a freaking orange, right? But so like they're not making that claim, but XRP, by nature of it existing, somehow magically is a security. Oh, okay, well that makes a bunch of sense. Continuing now, Garlinghouse tells Fox News that he believes the regulators' moves have created uncertainty and handicapped the crypto industry in the United States. And here's a quote. So this is Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. It's so important for the industry to have clarity. Innovation here in the United States, in some ways, is on trial. We want innovation here in the US around crypto, around blockchain, to thrive. And without that clarity, innovation goes to markets where there is clarity. Yeah, exactly. And so at the outset, I cited there's a lot at stake for XRP. There's a lot at stake for Ripple. Absolutely true. But there's a lot at stake in the United States for the entire crypto asset class. And so like this innovation is going to occur. It's a question of where. And so you can think back to the advent of the internet. Think back to the mid-90s. There were people that thought that it was dangerous to have basically the sum of all human knowledge available on the internet to pretty much anybody. Like there were people that wanted licenses if you needed to have a license in order to have internet access, so that it could be so that your activity could be super duper easily tracked. And other reasons too. There were reasons beyond that too. But still, I'm just saying, can you imagine if that approach was taken to the internet? Because all the great things that came from the internet, they still would have been figured out by humans. It just would have taken longer, and it would have happened elsewhere. And so if you're in the let me say this. Actually, if you're not in the United States, maybe it doesn't matter to you as much. But still, if this is going to slow down great minds and they happen to be in the US, it still matters. And if you are in the United States, it most definitely matters, because they're going to try and, like, if they get their way here, they can, Like, you're talking about devastation for the cryptocurrency asset class. You really are. Because what would not be a security the way that the SEC is approaching this? Like Bitcoin, maybe? But even then you could argue that there's a common enterprise with the Bitcoin miners, which, by the way, a previous SEC commissioner, Joseph Grunfest, actually did previously argue. Is that what you want? Anyway, here's a quote from Brad Garlinghouse. One of the ironies is the United States is the only country on the planet that has viewed XRP as a security. Whether it's Japan, the UK, Switzerland, Singapore, they all view XRP as a currency. Yet here at home, where Ripple is headquartered, the US SEC has taken a different position. No kidding here. And so then they state the following. Since other statutory bodies, including the US Treasury and Department of Justice, have at times described XRP as a currency, he says the SEC statement is a tough pill to swallow. Yeah, and I've said the same thing too. Like, and they do try and make this argument, but so XRP, just by its nature, like, it can be used for different things, most certainly, right? But in this case, like, do you want to say that a square can also be a circle? That argument doesn't make sense. You need to have a different way of looking at this. You need to recognize that it's not that there's some sort of trait about XRP by nature that makes it so and so. You just need to instead regulate its applications. Wouldn't that make a whole lot more sense? I think so. Because then we wouldn't be having this freaking discussion, frankly. You know? So here's a quote from Brad Garlinghouse. You have other parts of the U.S. government saying that XRP is a currency. Whether it be the Department of Justice, whether it be the U.S. Treasury, has called XRP a currency. So for the SEC, 8 or 9 years after after XRP started trading, over $1 trillion has traded out there for them to say, we now think it's a security. You should have known all along. That seems pretty hard to swallow. No kidding. I'm with you, Brad Garlinghouse. Right on it. Now, on to this next topic. I have to talk about this finally. Here's a headline from Yahoo Finance. This is from just a few days ago. Musk says Tesla sold Bitcoin to prove liquidity as cash alternative. And by the way, so part of the reason I want to talk about this finally is because, especially with the fact that we're in the great, like, we'll see how this all pans out in the end, but I think this will prove to have become the greatest bull run for the crypto asset class in history. Really, even you could argue it up to this point it already is. I think you can make that case. It depends on what you're tracking. In terms of chart formation, not there yet. In terms of dollar increases, yeah, unquestionably it is. And so a big part of the narrative, though, is all of these businesses coming in, the investors, the institutional money, the publicly traded companies, all throwing into Bitcoin, making Bitcoin supply more scarce, and they're going to hold forever. Oh my gosh, the diamond hands, this and that. And given that we're in a bull run, seeing stuff like this being discussed now, not exactly instilling confidence. Not that it's scaring me or making me think that we're not going to have a continuation of the bull run. I'm not saying that. But look at this, like the implications of this narrative, though. So here's the piece. Elon Musk said Tesla Inc. sold 10% of its Bitcoin holdings to demonstrate the token's liquidity, while adding that he's retained his personal investment in the cryptocurrency. Tesla's earnings report shows the firm, which bought more than $1 billion of the tokens earlier this year, generated $101 million in income from the sale. Musk said on Twitter that Tesla, in essence, was trying to... Listen to this. Oh, this really burns my biscuits a little bit. Tesla, in essence, was trying to, quote, prove liquidity of Bitcoin as an alternative to holding cash on balance sheet, end quote. And I read that and I was just like, I scratched my head a little bit, and then I was like, this is a cop-out. You wanted to sell Bitcoin to turn it into United States dollars, and then you play it off like you're testing whether or not the Bitcoin blockchain functions as we know it functions and has provably functioned for 12 years now? To prove the liquidity. What did you just prove? Yeah, we didn't know for sure if we could exit our Bitcoin position. We wanted to prove the liquidity? What in the ever-loving hell does that mean? You sound stupid. You're not stupid. Elon Musk is awesome, but this is stupid. So they're trying to craft a picture here that is out of line with reality. Isn't that what it looks like? That's what it looks like to me. It looks to me like they wanted to take some of the risk off the table. That's what it looks like, and they converted some of their Bitcoin into United States dollars. And that's, I don't have a problem with them doing it, by the way. I have no beef with them doing it. It's perfectly fine. But then to state that it's to test liquidity, you're testing liquidity. Proving liquidity that it works. My gosh, this has been a known factor for over a decade. It's laughable. It's laughable. But then you see, in fact, here's another instance where you might see another story along these lines soon with a very notable, well, they've become very famous in the world of crypto, MicroStrategy, publicly traded company here. Well, take a look at this. Here you go. There's a little graphic here. It's shared by Mr. Whale on on Twitter here. And he tweeted this out to his 99,900 followers. And it's this. It's a quote. "I didn't buy it to sell it ever." And that's a reference to Bitcoin by Michael Saylor. That's in September 2020, less than a year ago. "I didn't buy it to sell it, period, ever, period." Okay. Want an update on that? You want an update? April 2021. Here's a quote from MicroStrategy Quarterly Report. "MicroStrategy may sell its Bitcoins and decrease its overall holdings of Bitcoin." Well, there you go. And so Mr. Whale shared that image and wrote the following. "MicroStrategy's first quarter 2021 financial results reveal a drastic shift in tone regarding Bitcoin. In 2020, Michael Saylor said the company will never sell Bitcoin. Now they say they may sell Bitcoins and decrease their overall holdings of Bitcoin in the future." And so what really made me laugh is when XRP community member Real XRP Boy responded to that and wrote 4 words. And this is an answer as to why MicroStrategy would do this. "To test liquidity, silly." Well, we just got to make sure. We need to make sure that Bitcoin, it can be sold on an exchange and put into this worthless fiat currency. You call it worthless. It's like an ice cube that's melting, you say. We just want to make sure they can do it, though. Well, if it was a test, why didn't you do a smaller amount, Elon Musk? And why didn't you, after completing the test, put it back into Bitcoin? How about that? Because you wanted the United States dollars. Oh my God, it's so disingenuous. It really grinds my gears just thinking through, because it's not intellectually honest. I can't buy it. So I wanted to share with you my 2 cents. Now, as far as, where Bitcoin's going and XRP and price, like, all that's still intact regardless of this. These are narratives that, they come, they go, they evolve, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this market cycle is going to keep going. People are not done doing everything they can to take advantage monetarily of what's happening, especially with stupid money coming in now. Because we're at that phase where it looks like everything's just going to pump now. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.